Hey there, and welcome back to another Miraculous Ladybug Season 1 retrospective review, where we go over the old episodes of Miraculous Ladybug we haven't done reviews for and give our thoughts. And we're almost there, almost done. Volpina, that's the last one for Season 1. It's taken me like 2 years to actually make it here. 2 whole years, my god. And here we finish off with a classic, a true classic. At least, it is in my memory. The introductory episode to Lila, which pretty quickly boosted her into the position of the most hated character in the franchise, even eclipsing Chloe in the end. But first, we gotta start watching. So we start off the episode following Adrien as he gets ready for school, and overhears his dad raging on the phone about his employees having screwed up something to do with an upcoming fashion show. My god, he's really angry. Notice how here he still has blonde hair, compared to when he dies, and he has grey hair. Dude needs to chill out, he made himself fully silver in under a year. Yikes. And of course, Adrien spies on him and watches him put a book inside a secret safe he keeps behind a painting of Emily, and so after Gabe leaves, Adrien decides, should I potentially lose the trust of my notoriously prickly and controlling dad? Yes, I think I will. Not exactly his most intelligent moment, but okay. Sometimes that happens, he is a teenager, and so with some plague coercion, he busts into the safe and discovers a book. A book filled with Miraculouses and superheroes, and inside he finds pictures of his ring, the cat user, and a butterfly and its user. Although, has he even met Hawkmoth yet? Like, here, and also later in the episode, he seems to be able to recognize him on sight, but I thought they've only ever seen that big butterfly head projector. Ah, well, who cares? Also, the fact that Gabe has this book, and it takes until the end of Season 5 for them to figure out that he's Hawkmoth, yikes. I mean, I get that Marinette does suspect him at first, and he throws them off the scent with his actions. But still, the fact that he has this book in the first place would have to suggest that at least he knows more than he's letting on, right? Ugh. Anyway, moving on. We head over to the school where we get our first look at Lila, who, before classes have even started, has seemingly been hard at work sowing her lies throughout the cohort, saying she's a close friend of Prince Ali, the Jagged Stone's written a song about her, she knows all the Hollywood directors, and can introduce Nino to them at some point. And on top of that, she even knows Ladybug. Oh no, she's perfect, isn't she? She was rescued by her once. And already we can see that everybody in this entire school has been hit with the idiot stick. Everybody just believes all of this with no verification. When I was in school, this would very quickly become obvious that she was lying. Especially since they're not little white lies, they're actually huge whoppers. My god, but of course, Marinette notices that she's flirting with Adrien, and that's what she cares about more, and she panics and spirals. Because how's she meant to compete with somebody like that? Also, poor Adrien, can this guy not meet a single girl who's not going to harass him? That is not the face of a man who consents. And during the course of her panic, she's told to settle down by Alia, who claims that her interview with Lila has gotten her the most hits on her blog ever. On the Lady blog. Didn't she legitimately have a sit-down interview with Ladybug? Did she not? No? Is that a fever dream of mine? And if so, how did that not have more views than this video of a random person? It's absurdity. Also, I know that Marinette's framed as being jealous here, which she is, but she's also just right. In every single way she's right. Has everybody taken crazy pills? Have they been hypnotized? What's going on? It's all very confusing. Also, Tiki just leaping out of her pocket in the middle of the school courtyard where anybody could see her? Come on, Tiki. Marinette then stalks the pair and follows them into the library, where Lila's going to do her history homework with Adrien, but I gotta ask, isn't this their first day? How does she have history homework already? What's going on here? And why would Adrien decide to read this book out in the open when he's with somebody? It feels foolish, feels stupid, feels forced. Anyway, Lila sees it, she gets jealous when Adrien gushes about Ladybug, which in turn makes her decide that creeping on him, getting in his personal space, and lying about being Ladybug's close personal friend is the best way to go about winning this guy over. Cringe. Also, the facial animations on some of these shots is wacky as hell, my god. You know, it's trash, but I'll miss when they update the graphics because these are just classic. And so, after causing a ruckus, Marinette hides under the table like a bit of a creeper, whilst Adrien runs off to his fencing class and Lila swipes the book to have a look and discovers a fox-based superhero. Oh, and Tiki convinces Marinette that they need to start stalking Lila in order to figure out what's going on with the book. So, you know, I guess the Kwame does not fall far from the tree. Like replicates like. No wonder Marinette's a stalker with this kind of example being set by her otherworldly friend. Also, she doesn't explain anything to Marinette. She's just like, trust me, bro. We gotta stalk him, trust me. Anyway, they follow around town a bit, into a jewelry store, then into the park, where Lila dumps this very obviously old and rare book into the trash. Lovely girl. I'm so salty about that. I don't even know why, but it's like, that's like one of a kind. What? And this forces Marinette and Tiki to retrieve it. Dumpster dive. Gross for one. But also, come on. Like, look at this. Look how close they are. And she's not even really hidden. Adrien's even facing her when she's hiding behind the bin. Anyway, Lila starts talking tremendous shit about how she's descended from a superhero herself, and that Volpina is in fact far more celebrated and important and powerful than Ladybug ever was. Okay. And so Marinette rages, and this is actually rather funny. Then she runs out into the street. They don't notice her running away, by the way, and then she transforms in public with no hiding, in front of buildings with windows and doors and cars. And then I gotta say, this scene, it's premium cringe. Like, in a good way, it's actually written well, because it shows that Marinette is rather flawed, and the show has her very much act her age. So immature to go about telling the truth in such a brutal way. I honestly had to somewhat skip through it. It was eye-watering cringe. I'd say this, and then that scene where Marinette tries to kiss the doll of Adrien, like the wax figure. Oh, I feel ill just thinking about that one. And yeah, Adrien's very much side-eyeing this whole thing. He even calls her out on it, but a look on her face...
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
And so Lila runs off crying because she got humiliated. Like, why wouldn't you? You literally just got humiliated by the world's most famous superhero, or at least France's most famous superhero. Imagine if Spider-Man just swung down on you in Manhattan or something and said, "You're a douchebag," and then left. That's what's happened to her. In front of the most popular, famous guy in school. Ooh, there's no coming back from that. I mean, even the show acknowledges this because this whole incident is so bad that she doesn't come back to school for like most of the year, right? Anyway, Hawkeye sends out his Akuma and she's transformed into Volpina and she creates an illusion of a meteor, I think. Anyway, and so Adrien goes off to investigate this as Cat Noir alongside Ladybug, only to witness Volpina come out of nowhere and push it out into space. And this gets her a lot of instant goodwill with the people of Paris. They start cheering her name, they're shouting, they're, looking at her. She's become famous pretty quick. Although, if it was me, I'd be a bit apprehensive about a hero who claims, "I'm the only hero you need," after you've already had two really successful superheroes in Paris. Sounds like a call-out superhero drama. Also, I feel like every space monitoring organization in the world would be currently in meltdown, because they've somehow missed a huge-ass meteor coming straight for Paris that would realistically level the whole city with the shockwave, right? And maybe even more. You just know that until Volpina was publicly revealed to be a villain, there would have been some very angry and awkward phone calls being fielded. And so Ladybug's deeply salty, but no time for that because Hawkmoth is here. He's standing on a rooftop, not at all suspiciously, but yeah, Ladybug ain't having this. But it's starting to make cracks in the team because Cat Noir's looking at her like she's having a meltdown. But they try to take him down. Volpina sends Cat Noir off on a wild goose chase before she ambushes Ladybug. And she uses her illusion powers to create a bunch of rockets and missiles that hover just above her. And she almost manages to win as she sends a rocket at a building and seemingly starts to bring it down, only for a pigeon to get hit by the rubble that is, and for the illusion to completely disperse. Foiled by a pigeon! Talk about getting humiliated. Somewhere out there, Mr. Pigeon has a smile on his face. And so the battle begins, but it turns out she was just an illusion because she's heading over to Adrien's house to kidnap him, seduce him, win him over, whatever. Although we gotta ask, if her plan hadn't failed with the pigeon, if she hadn't been there, how is she gonna pick up the Miraculouses at all? Interesting. But yeah, Cat Noir's made his way to his house as Adrien, as he got a call from Ladybug telling him what's up, and so Ladybug crashes the party, the battle begins, Adrien goes to hide in the bathroom to retransform and join in. Not gonna lie, this battle sucks, the action in this episode is bad. The quality actually looks way down from usual in this episode in terms of the animation, like the assets and whatnot. I'm not sure what happened here, it's noticeably bad. But Lila takes Adrien, or an illusion of Adrien, to the Eiffel Tower, pretends to drop him, fails because it's revealed to be an illusion. Lucky charm, it's a shiny chocolate wrapper that reflects light. The real Volpina gets blinded, the illusion Volpinas don't. Cat Noir uses Cataclysm, and somehow, this creates a cage. Sure it does. They win, Ladybug apologizes, Lila swears revenge. Cat Noir's awkwardly standing there saying, "Ouch." And Hawkmoth also swears revenge, because of course he did, and he says he's gonna bring back Volpina, but not for ages, I guess. The end of Season 2. And then we finish off with Ladybug almost bursting on an Adrien in the shower. Almost changed genre just then. Because of course Adrien was forced to race home to keep his cover intact. Marinette then goes and takes the book to Master Fu. Adrien panics because he's lost the book. And that's the end. Big episode, a lot of development. But I just think it's such a shame the action was kind of bland and dull. Even compared to much of Season 1, it stood out as being noticeably bad, and the animation was trash here. You can't win them all. The story was good though, and so with all that being said, these have just been my opinions, and I'd like to hear yours. What do you think of the episode? You like it? Hate it? I'm curious for your thoughts, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know.